Hello beautiful internet family, Dan here from DansTube.TV, and in today's video I've got the best DJI drones of 2021 so far. And the reason I say so far is it looks like the DJI Mavic 3 is just around the corner. I released a video on the channel not long ago to showcase the Mavic 3. It's looking amazing. It's got two cameras, a flight time of 46 minutes. I'll talk about that a little later in the video. But in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the three drones from DJI that have come out this year. We've had the DJI FPV, we've had the DJI Air 2S, and we've had the DJI Mini SE. That's in order of release, where the FPV came out earlier in the year, and then the Mini SE came out not too long ago. So enjoy the video and make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. On this channel, I really try to help people to unlock their creative potential with tech. That's my mission. I want to help people really unlock the full potential from the products that they're going to be buying, whether that's drones, whether that's cameras, whether that's accessories for your tech. Really depends what you're into. But if you're into drones and you've got friends that are into drones, then let them know about DansTube.TV. If you are interested in any of the drones that I mentioned here or any other previous DJI drones or even future DJI drones that come out, then make sure to check out the D1 store. I've got a 10% off discount code over there. The discount code is MMAFB. You can save 10% on your drones, cameras, and accessories. That actually works out to be a lot, especially when drones can be over a couple of $1,000s if you get the Fly More combo and accessories. Saving 10% is a massive saving. So there will be a link in the description below to check that one out. I've been fortunate enough to be able to try the DJI FPV drone, the DJI Air 2S, as well as the DJI Mini SE. So I've been able to test them now for an extended period of time and really be able to kind of compile my thoughts on where these drones fit into the market and what kind of consumers these drones are targeting. So starting off with the DJI FPV drone, this is clearly an FPV drone. It's been designed to target that racing freestyle world with pilots who use the headset as well as, actually flipping, doing crazy rolls, crazy stuff. Like if you've seen FPV, you'll know exactly what it's all about, but it's such a unique perspective and something that I really wanted to experience. And unfortunately, because I don't have the FPV knowledge and experience to dive into the full mode, I just played around with a few different modes. So I didn't actually go into the full manual FPV mode. That actually takes quite a process to be able to open up the controller and almost unlock that feature, which I think is really smart because DJI don't want any liability issues. They don't want to have any safety concerns if people just pick up an FPV drone and crash it into someone or into a wall or whatever that may be. The DJI FPV drone actually weighs quite a lot. It's quite a hefty build. And the fact that you can just fly it as a normal cinematic drone is very interesting. But from the videos I've posted on my channel, which you can check out, it really doesn't become the best cinematic option on the market. It's clearly designed for that FPV market, and the other modes are fun and it really does have a different feel to it, even when I'm just flying around in the normal modes. But until I unlock that full FPV mode, I'm not getting the true essence, the true experience of the DJI FPV drone. But you can check out other channels and there are tons of content on this FPV drone from DJI. But if you want to check it out from a cinematic filmmaking perspective, then you can check out the videos on my channel because I really just show you what you can get out of this drone if you have no FPV knowledge at all. You can actually capture 4K 60 FPS video from the DJI FPV drone, and it's a super wide field of view. Again, it does give a unique perspective, and I think from my tests just in the normal cinematic mode, it does give a unique feel because the drone goes really fast. It has a completely different kind of field of view to it. It's got that super wide field of view, so it does create something slightly different to the cinematic drones that you might be used to if you've got, a Mavic Air, Mavic Pro, or even a Mavic Mini. It's a different feel when you fly the drone, even just in the normal modes, and the video comes out slightly different as well. So that was quite interesting to be able to fly it nice and low, to test out some nice tight gaps, and just to see how it responded in different kind of situations. Very impressed with it. It's a lot of fun to fly the FPV drone from DJI, and I would love to dive into the full FPV experience, but I think for people out there, if you want to start out with an FPV drone, then this is perfect, because the thing that's so crazy is when you unlock the full FPV mode, you have an emergency brake and hover. So if you've used any other cinematic drone from DJI, you'll know that when you let go of the controller, it just hovers. Now, if you've used an FPV drone from a competitor, they don't just hover. Like, if you let go of the sticks, they're gonna plummet down to earth. Yeah, that's not fun. So you wanna make sure that you've got that kind of learning curve prepared. You wanna prepare through different applications, different pieces of software, and get used to it and comfortable with the experience of flying FPV, which you can do with DJI's FPV drone. You know, you start off with those initial modes and then build up to the full FPV mode. But the fact that you've got that emergency brake and hover, even in the full FPV mode, is fantastic. It's a great peace of mind tool, knowing that, you know, you can try different things, and if you put it into that emergency brake and hover, you can then immediately set it up and just let it hover. So even if you screw up a maneuver and you flip over something and you're worried it's going to plummet down, press that button and it will just settle out and hover for you. DJI's FPV drone also has a video transmission range of 10 kilometers, which is insane. Obviously, don't fly that far, keep it within line of sight and fly safely. But even comparing it to other drones when I'm in the same location, the FPV drone just doesn't get any sort of range close to even the Mavic Mini, which is using Wi-Fi, like the Mini 2, which is using OcuSync, or the Air 2S. Like, the FPV drone from DJI just doesn't have that range reliability, and it might have been improved with software updates, but I just didn't find it to be that impressive. It does have an amazing video transmission latency of only 28 seconds, so you're getting like immediate reactions in the real world, where other FPV drones you might have like the analog design where you've got like bars coming across the screen. It might be hard to pick up on things, or it might completely cut out because you're too far away, where I found it was very reliable with the video transmission. Like I said, the video range wasn't great, so there were a few times where it just completely dropped out for me and I was not flying that far away from myself, but they may have improved that with software updates. My favorite DJI release of 2021 so far is the Air 2S. Now, being the 2S, being like an S model, you would think it wouldn't be that impressive, but wow, have they done something amazing here. It's got a 1-inch CMOS sensor and can capture 5.4K video. It trumps the Mavic 2 Pro when it comes to that video resolution, and when you compare the footage, it really does outweigh the Mavic 2 Pro. It really is better video in my opinion. Like, yes, with the Mavic 2 Pro you have that mechanical shutter, and you can actually, it's like variable aperture, so you can actually adjust the aperture based on the scene you're in. That's one of the big advantages of the Mavic 2 Pro. But you know, the 1-inch CMOS sensor from the Air 2S is extremely capable, and the video I'm getting from it is phenomenal. Like I said before, it's almost better than the Mavic 2 Pro video. Really amazing stuff, and the fact that it can capture 5.4K video is next level. You can't even capture that on the Mavic 2 Pro, which is insane. So the Air 2S is definitely my favorite release of 2021 so far. The Air 2S added a brand new mode called Master Shots, and this is actually more useful than I thought it would be. I thought it would be a bit of a gimmick, but it's really useful. You know, it captures all different videos and it stitches them together. You can then just cut out the videos you want and use them at your own kind of pace. You don't have to use everything, you know, it doesn't force you to use anything. It doesn't create separate video files. It just puts it all into the one video. You then put it on your computer, review everything, and then you can cut and choose what you want to choose. And I've found it actually really useful. You know, it does like a whole process. It's all automated. It only takes a few minutes, and then you've got a ton of unique footage to use at a later date. On top of that, the Air 2S has also got improved range over the Mavic 2 Pro. It's got a 12-kilometer range, which is insane, and it's sending back a full HD signal to your phone and to the controller. So you're getting 1080p video straight to your phone. It's fantastic, it looks beautiful, and I absolutely love that experience. On top of that, you also get obstacle sensing in 4 directions, and it's overall just the best drone this year, hands down from DJI. It is fantastic. That 1-inch sensor is great. It's a 20 megapixel camera as well, so you can capture, some beautiful photos, and it's just a reliable flight time and time again. Never had any issues with range. The video quality was phenomenal. I would normally recommend the Air 2S to people who want to get into that prosumer space, but honestly, just hold off a little bit, because the Mavic 3 is just around the corner, and that thing is going to be a beast. It's got 2 cameras on it. 2 cameras, so yeah, just hold out for that. I'll mention that again a little bit later in this video, but I think the Air 2S is the best release so far before the Mavic 3, which will probably then be the best release of 2021 from DJI. But the Air 2S is still a phenomenal drone with a ton of options. Moving on to the final release of 2021 so far from DJI, we do have a few other drones potentially coming out by the end of the year, but as of me recording this on the 25th of September, this is the latest drone from DJI. It was something that just kind of went under the radar and I was quite surprised by it. It's a whole rebranded Mavic Mini. It's called the DJI Mini SE. Another thing to mention is that all of these drones that I've mentioned so far, I've got a ton of content on the channel, all sorts of videos and tips and settings and different content out there that you can check out on my channel. So go over there and check that out for some more content after this video. But moving on to the DJI Mini SE is a phenomenally well-rounded, rebranded Mavic Mini. Like if you've owned the Mavic Mini or you know what the Mavic Mini is about, this is basically the Mavic Mini in the body of the Mini 2. So a slightly better design, like the body's a little bit more robust and durable. It's got a few tiny things like the grills on the front, instead of being stickers on the Mavic Mini, they're actually grills now that allow air to flow through and cool down the internals. And the main thing is that it's actually got an improved wind resistance, which now matches the Mini 2's wind resistance, which is a level 5 wind resistance. And I did notice that 100%, like when I did the comparison between the 3 drones, that video is on my channel. Go and check that out. It's actually a really cool video. But yeah, I actually did notice the difference 100% comparing the Mini SE to the Mavic Mini. It definitely does handle the wind a lot better. Now everything else is pretty much the exact same, it's identical. The only other difference to mention is that it's using the batteries and the charging hub from the Mini 2, but outside of that, it is the Mavic Mini. It's got a 30-minute flight time, it's got a 4-kilometer HD video transmission, it's using advanced Wi-Fi compared to OcuSync on the Mini 2. It's also under 250 grams, so it's 249 grams. It's got the vision positioning sensors underneath, GPS, precise hover. Again, all of this is the same on the Mavic Mini, and it's got that 3-axis gimbal with 2.7K, and it can capture 12 megapixel stills. So it really is just the Mavic Mini slightly rebranded. And the other major thing to bring to your awareness is that it's actually cheaper than the Mavic Mini. So if you're about to buy a mini drone, if you're not interested in FPV, if you're not interested in prosumer drone like the DJI Air 2S or the Mavic 3 or the Mavic 2 Pro, then honestly, the Mini SE is the drone I would recommend to pretty much everyone starting out in the drone space. It is the most competent, reliable drone at its size and at its price point. It's remarkable. I can't talk higher about the Mini SE. It's a fantastic starting point. So I think for a lot of people out there, this is a really great drone to look into. Like I said, I got a few other videos. When I say a few, I mean I've actually got a fair few videos on the channel really showcasing the Mini SE, comparing it to the Mini 2 and the Mavic Mini, and also some tips and settings on the Mini SE as well. A really great drone that a lot of people are loving, so definitely check that one out. Outside of those 3 drones that I just mentioned before, it looks like the Mavic 3 is just around the corner. It's on the horizon, we can taste it. And the Mavic 3 Pro, or the Mavic 3, DJI Mavic 3, whatever they want to call it, is looking phenomenal. It's got a flight time of 46 minutes. All of these leaks look very legit. It looks like a proper spec sheet that you would see in like a manual for the drone itself. So we're looking at a 46-minute flight time. That's insane. That's something we haven't seen from DJI at this level at all. It's really impressive. And then we've got the 2 cameras. So we've got a telephoto camera, which is a CMOS half-inch sensor, which is similar to the Mavic 2 zoom sensor by the looks of it, and it can capture 12 megapixel stills, and then a wide angle camera using a micro four thirds sensor. That's insane. Like how amazing is that? A micro four thirds sensor on a prosumer drone. Very excited to see what that's capable of capturing. And it's got a 20 megapixel kind of capable camera as well. So that's for still photos, 20 megapixels. And then on top of that, in the spec sheet, you can see what the field of view is and the aperture as well. So we can actually see that it's using a mechanical shutter for the wide angle camera. Again, very impressive. I'm extremely excited to see what it's capable of capturing. And the f-stop for the wide angle camera goes from 2.8 to 11, where the telephoto camera is actually fixed at 4.4. So very interesting, keen to see how these 2 cameras interface together and what that will actually mean. Like, can you record from both? You know, what is the benefit of recording from both? Is one going to have like some sort of zoom capability? Are we going to see a new zoom camera? I don't know. So I'm very excited to see what this all looks like. On top of that, we can see that the Mavic 3 also has a rear loading battery door compared to that top loading battery, and that's probably what's actually allowed them to really significantly increase the flight time to 46 minutes. It also apparently can capture 5.2K video. Now, you might be wondering, that's interesting because with the DJI Air 2S, you can capture 5.4K video. Yes, that sounds a little bit odd. You would think it would be at least 6K, but I think the fact that it's a micro Four Thirds sensor, it's going to be capturing amazing video, and it's going to be a lot better than the Air 2S, 100%. So that's something really exciting to look forward to. On top of that, it's got the omnidirectional obstacle avoidance. So I'm hoping we're going to see like a 360-degree obstacle avoidance, something similar to what we saw with Skydio's release. And yeah, we've got a few other things that we can see here, but nothing too much just yet. There's like, all the leaks are ready to go. We've seen a fair bit about the Mavic 3, but there's hopefully still a few little hidden things that we don't know just yet. Otherwise, it's like opening your presents before Christmas. Like, we already kind of know what's happening, the excitement's there, and that will start to die off a bit, and then we'll see it, and then hopefully there'll be a few other features, a few other specs that we don't know about. But anyway, like I said before, hold out. If you're going to buy the Air 2S, just hold out a little longer. The Mavic 3 is probably going to come out next month. You might as well wait and see what it's going to capture, what it's capable of doing, and what features it's going to offer to consumers. But anyway, guys, they are the best DJI drones of 2021 so far. The Mavic 3 is just around the corner. I will have a ton of content on the channel around the Mavic 3, what you can do with it, what features it has, and everything else that you want to know. Let me know if you got any questions as well around like what the Mavic 3 is capable of doing, and I can create some content on that as well. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate all of your support. I will talk to you in the next one, and peace.